Bifurcation of states has been one of the most sensitive topics of our nation. The demand for a new state may be political, economic, or cultural, depending on whether the demand to have a separate state has been raised by the government or the public. Most demands for a separate state are made so that the new state can thrive and provide better opportunities to its people. Recently, there have been rumors about the bifurcation of UP into 4 states, namely Purvanchal, Bundelkhand, Awadh Pradesh and Paschim Pradesh. Although these rumors have been strictly denied, we can contemplate if the division would be beneficial. Let us now dive deeper into this topic and try to understand whether bifurcation of states is the best way for people to prosper or there are other alternatives that can be looked into. But before we proceed further, please support us by liking and sharing this video so that it can reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more such videos. Let us first understand how a state can be bifurcated. The constitutional power to create a new state or union territory is solely reserved by the Parliament. Parliament can do so by announcing new states or union territories, separating a territory from an existing state, or merging states or union territories. To protect the unity and integrity of India, Article 3 of the Constitution has the power to form the new state in Parliament. Now, let's look at the states that have been created in the recent history. 3 new states were created in November 2000. Chhattisgarh was created out of eastern Madhya Pradesh. Uttaranchal, which was later renamed Uttarakhand, was created out of Uttar Pradesh. And Jharkhand was created out of the southern districts of Bihar. In 2014, Telangana was separated from Andhra Pradesh as the 29th state of the country. In October 2019, Jammu and Kashmir state was split into 2 new union territories, Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. And in 2020, the union territory of Dadra and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu were merged into one. Interestingly, when India got independence, it had 14 states and 6 union territories, following the reorganization of states in 1956, to 29 states and 7 union territories in 2014, and now 28 states and 8 union territories. But how have the states performed after the bifurcation? Well, if we compare the GDP and the GDP per capita of the states bifurcated in 2000 with its parent state, the bifurcated states have shown improvement. But there are several other factors as well that you can see on the screen that need to be analyzed to truly understand the benefit of the bifurcation. Unfortunately, doing that in this video would be impossible for us. In 2011, the then Chief Minister of UP, Mayawati, passed a resolution in the assembly that would divide UP into 4 major states. However, the Congress central government did not agree with that resolution. Mayawati depended heavily on this policy for the next state election in 2012. She expected people to vote for her due to this proposal. Unfortunately, her move backfired and the 2012 election were won by the Samajwadi Party, who were against the division of UP. After 2011, no serving government ever spoke about this proposal. But that was not the first time when a statement regarding the division of UP was into discussion. In fact, in 1955, B.R. Ambedkar, in his book Thoughts of Linguistic State, had proposed the idea of dividing UP into 3 states. After Mayawati's proposal, leaders of other political parties spoke about it. Mostly it was the opposition parties that spoke about it and not the ruling party. With a population of about 20 crores, UP is the most populated state in India. If Uttar Pradesh were a country, it would be the 5th most populated, next only to China, India, USA and Indonesia. Its population growth rate is twice as high as the national growth rate. Another factor is the industrial growth, which has slowed down over the past few decades due to corruption and rising crime rates. If you look at the government, even though we have seen that the last few governments have lasted 5 years, no government has been seen as inclusive of everybody, as vote is still divided based on caste. Casteism has gone so deep that it cannot be taken out of the politics, as people don't cast their votes, they vote their caste. दिल्ली का रास्ता लखनऊ होकर जाता है. I'm sure you have heard this saying, but do you know what that really means? UP has as many MPs as Gujarat, Rajasthan and Karnataka put together. This causes a great imbalance in terms of national power. This means that if one can win UP, they can win power in the nation. So this gives a state an exaggerated power in the federal power structure. You can check out a video on how elections work in India for a better understanding of this. Due to the massive population, it becomes difficult for the government to implement a scheme and see its success within the 5-year span. Another factor that stands in favor of bifurcation of the state is the resources that the center has to spend on UP. Being the most populous state of India, it gets the largest share in the central funds compared to other states, and the data on how the funds are utilized can be easily manipulated. These were the factors why the bifurcation would be beneficial. But even if the split would actually prove to be beneficial, there is no political compulsion for this divide now. Currently, BJP is politically very strong in UP, and they do not have any political reason to divide the state, as this might give the other parties an opportunity, just like it did in Mayawati's case. Also, there is no demand from the local population of UP for this division, as they may feel that it won't change the ground reality much. The local population and their leaders might not want to lose their importance due to the splitting of the state. As discussed earlier, the large number of MPs play an important role in the national politics, and dividing it might dilute the role. The most obvious solution to UP is bifurcating it into smaller states, but that doesn't guarantee the growth expected due to its split. In fact, one state might feel left out while the others may prosper. Also, with the people of UP against the bifurcation, no ruling party would dare to bring up such a proposal ever again. The best solution would be creating more districts in UP. UP currently has 75 districts, and this number should be increased. Its population has increased 77% in the last 30 years, but the number of districts has increased by only around 20%. Tamil Nadu is an example of a state which has been creating new districts to improve their governance. Apart from this, the state government could decentralize decision making by transferring some power from the state to the local governing bodies. In most Indian states, major decisions are made at the Chief Minister's office level. By decentralization, this decision-making process could be made easier. Dividing UP in itself is an example of decentralization, but a more effective option might be entrusting the district magistrate and panchayat leaders with more decision-making powers. This solution might probably be a better option for the people of UP, especially when there is no demand from the local population for its division. I hope this video was able to give you an understanding of how state bifurcations work, the reasons behind them, and if they're really beneficial or not. Please make sure to like and share this video so that it can reach more people. And again, don't forget to subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on for more such videos.